Meet Jake and Marcus. They're both 27 years old. They went to the same state university, graduated 2 semesters apart, and both landed their first real job within 6 months of leaving campus. They both earn $68,000 a year, and after 3 years of careful budgeting of meal prepping on Sundays with a level of commitment they will both cheerfully never discuss again. They have each managed to reach a place where their expenses are covered, their emergencies fund is funded, and they have exactly $900 left over every month. Financially, they are identical. What they plan to do with that $900 is not. They also share one other thing, a debt. Both Jake and Marcus graduated with $28,000 in federal student loans at a 6.5% interest rate. On the standard 10-year repayment plan, their minimum monthly payment comes to $317. That means without doing anything extra at all, their loans would be paid off in 10 years and cost them a total of around $10,000 in interest by the time they are finished. But Jake and Marcus are not planning to do nothing extra. They are planning to do very different things. Jake wants the debts gone. He doesn't enjoy carrying it. Every month, that $317 minimum payment is a reminder that a portion of his paycheck still technically belongs to a lender he hasn't thought about since graduation. He's run the numbers and he's decided he's going to throw the entire $900 at the loan every single month until it disappears. After that, he'll invest everything. Whereas Marcus has also run the numbers, and the numbers he believes tell a different story. His loan changes 6.5% per year. The total stock market index has returned to around 10% per year on an average. Over the last century, to Marcus, paying off the loan faster than required means choosing a guaranteed 6.5% return when a historically higher return is available to anyone with a brokerage account and a long enough time horizon. His plan: pay the minimum of $317 every month, invest the remaining $583 immediately, and let the market do what it has historically done. Two people, the same debt, the same income, the same $900. One wants to eliminate the liability first, the other wants to build the asset first. Both of them believe they are making the smarter decision. Let's follow them both for the next 20 years, because the outcome is nothing like most people expect. So Jake's first month looks like this. He sets up an automatic payment of $900 towards his $28,000 loan. The first payment applies $151 to interest and $749 to principal. His balance falls to $27,251. He takes a screenshot of the number, then he gets on with his life. Marcus' first month looks like this. He sets up a minimum automatic payment of $317 towards his loan. He opens a brokerage account, transfers his first $583 into a total stock market index fund, and sets up an automatic monthly investment for every month after. He closes the app. Both of them have done something sensible with their $900, right? Only one of them has something visible to show for it. Jake's loan balance will fall every month. It will fall more each month than the month before, as the interest charge shrinks alongside the principal. There is no uncertainty in this, no fluctuation. Every dollar he sends to the loan is quietly, miserably erasing a debt that cost him money every single day it exists. Marcus' investment account will also change every month, but not like that. Some months it will rise, some months it will fall. In the early months, with a few $1,000s in the account, the movements will barely be noticeable. There's nothing about Marcus' investment that feels as satisfying or as certain as watching a loan balance drop towards zero. The balance is just a number quietly changing on a screen. From the outside, Jake looks like the responsible one. He's aggressively eliminating a debt. Marcus looks like someone who decided paying off his loans on time was good enough. Neither impression is entirely accurate. 2 years and 10 months into their plan, something happens in Jake's financial life that hasn't happened in Marcus's. The loan disappears. After 34 months of $900 payments, Jake's $28,000 student loan reaches zero. Over those nearly 3 years, he paid approximately $2,700 in interest. Money that is gone, that built nothing. That simply compensated the lender for lending in the first place. He notes the number. He's not happy about it, but the loan is gone. The morning after making his final payment, Jake opens a brokerage account. He invests $900 into a total stock market index fund. He sets up the same automatic investment for every month after. He closes the app and gets on with his life. Now both of them are investing, just not from the same starting line. Marcus has been investing for nearly 3 years, depending on how the market performed during those 34 months. His portfolio has grown on somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. He's personally contributed around $20,000. Everything above that number came quietly from market returns. His loan balance, meanwhile, has fallen from $28,000 to roughly around $22,000. He still has 7 years of minimum payments ahead of him. Jake is starting at zero, but from the point forward, his full $900 goes directly into the market every single month. No minimum payment subtracted, no interest charge, reducing what he can invest, just $900 compounding without interruption. On the surface, Marcus is clearly ahead. His portfolio is already worth more than Jack's. He's been in the market longer. He's experienced compounding Jack hasn't yet. If this comparison ended today, Marcus would be the obvious winner. But this comparison doesn't end today. Here is what the next 7 years looks like. Marcus continues investing $583 every month and paying $317 towards his loan. Jack invests $900 every month with no loan payment at all, month by month. Year by year, Jack's monthly investment advantage quietly accumulates. He's putting $317 more into the market every single month than Marcus is, and that's the difference. Compounding over 7 years begins no matter. By year 5, about 2 years into Jack's investing journey and 5 years into Marcus, their portfolios are closer than most people would expect. Marcus' portfolio has grown to somewhere between $55,000 and $65,000. Jake's has grown on somewhere between $35,000 and $42,000. Market is still ahead, but the gap has been closing steadily since the moment Jack started investing. By year 7, something important is beginning to happen. Jack's portfolio is now large enough that market returns are contributing more to his account each year than his monthly contribution do. This is where compounding quietly changes gears. For the first few years, Jack's portfolio felt like a slow-moving vehicle. Now the engine has found its speed. Each year, the curve steepens a little more. His portfolio at year 7 sits somewhere between $90,000 and $105,000. Marcus, at the same moment, sits somewhere between $125,000 and $140,000. He still has 3 years left on his loan. He is still investing $583 a month, while Jack invests $900. Then year 10 arrives, and something changes permanently. Marcus makes his final loan payment for the first time in a decade. The $317 minimum payment disappears. He adjusts his automatic investment from $583 to $900 a month. Everything that used to go to the lender now goes to the market. His portfolio at this point has grown to somewhere between $175,000 and $195,000. Over 10 years of investing, he personally contributed around $70,000 of his own money. The remaining $105,000 to $125,000 came purely from compounding. Quietly, automatically, while he went to the work and came home and got on with his life. Jake, meanwhile, has been investing the full $900 a month for 7 years. His portfolio sits somewhere between $155,000 and $175,000. He personally contributed around $75,000 of his own money. The rest came from the market. At year 10, they are close, remarkably close. Given that they started from such different positions at year 3, Marcus is still ahead, somewhere between $15,000 and $25,000, depending on how the market performed year by year. But after a decade of what looked like two very different strategies, the gap is narrower than almost anyone would have predicted when they both made their decisions 10 years earlier. Now comes the final decade. For the next 10 years, Jack and Marcus are for the first time doing the exact same thing, both investing $900 a month, same fund, same automatic contributions, no differences at all. The only difference is where they start. Marcus begins year 11 with a portfolio that is somewhere between $15,000 and $25,000 larger than Jake's. And in the world of compound growth, starting with more means ending with more. That gap doesn't disappear. Over 10 years at 10% on extra $20,000 at the starting line becomes an extra $50,000 at the finish line. Now let's go year 20, the full picture. Marcus has been invested for 20 years. His $583 monthly contributions for the first decade, followed by $900 monthly contribution for the second, combined with 20 years of compounding, have produced a portfolio worth somewhere between $490,000 and $530,000. Of that, Marcus personally contributed approximately $178,000 of his own money. The remaining $312,000 to $350,000 came purely from compound growth. No second job, no windfall, just time and consistency, working quietly in the background for 2 decades. Jake has been invested for 17 years. His $900 monthly contributions uninterrupted from the moment his loan was gone, combined with 17 years of compounding, have produced a portfolio worth somewhere between $460,000 and $495,000 of that. Jack personally contributed approximately $183,000. The remaining $277,000 to $310,000 came from the market growth. When you look at where they both end up after 20 years, the results surprise almost everyone. Marcus finishes with somewhere between $490,000 and $530,000. Jake finishes with somewhere between $460,000 and $495,000. 2 completely different paths, almost the same destination, yet the journey couldn't have been more different. Marcus built his wealth by giving money as much time in the market as possible. Jake built his by eliminating a liability that was costing him money every day it existed. Marcus accepted the psychological weight of carrying debt for 10 years alongside the uncertainty of market fluctuations. Jake accepted 3 years of zero investing and the knowledge that he gave up some early compounding in exchange for certainty. Neither approach is automatically better. They are simply different. At this point, it might sound like Marcus made the correct mathematical decision. Start investing earlier, let compounding work longer. The numbers seem to say so, but that wouldn't be a completely fair conclusion, and it won't be an honest one. Marcus' results depend entirely on something the spreadsheet assumes, but the real world not guarantee that. He kept investing every single month for 20 years, without ever stopping, reducing, or redirecting that money. Every month for a decade, while carrying a loan, Marcus had to look at his bank account, see the minimum payment going out, see the market returning something or losing something, and still send $583 into a brokerage account. In the months when the market fell 30% and every financial news headline announced the beginning of the end, Marcus had to keep investing. His portfolio temporarily lost $40,000 on paper during a downturn. Marcus had to resist the urge to stop. The calculation assumes he did all of this without a single deviation. Human nature doesn't allow cooperate with spreadsheets. There also the question of what it actually felt like to carry the debt. For 10 years, Marcus owed $28,000 at 6.5%. Every month, he sent $317 to a lender. Every month, a portion of that payment was interest, money that went nowhere and built nothing. In total, Marcus paid roughly $10,000 in interest over the life of the loan. That's simply $10,000 he will never see again. Quietly extracted from his finances over a decade simply because he chose to carry debt instead of eliminating it. And there is one more thing. A loan is a fixed obligation. Markets are not. Marcus was simultaneously carrying a guaranteed negative return in the form of loan interest and accepting the variable returns of the stock market. Most years, the market returned more than 6.5% and Marcus came out ahead. But the market has also returned less than 6.5% for multi-year stretches. Those years, Marcus was paying more in interest than his investments were earning. He accepted the risk and it worked out over 20 years. It doesn't always. Jake, by contrast, eliminated that risk under 3 years from month 35 onward. His financial situation had no drag, no minimum payment, no interest charge, no guaranteed negative return built into his monthly budget. Just $900 a month going directly to work for him and a balance sheet that was entirely on his side. His 6.5% return from eliminating the loan is also worth naming clearly. It wasn't exciting, it didn't feel like investing, but for 3 years, every dollar Jake sent to that loan earned a guaranteed risk-free tax-free 6.5% return. The stock market over those same 3 years might have earned more, or it might have earned less. Jake's return was certain. That certainty has a value that doesn't appear in a 20-year portfolio comparison. So which strategy actually wins? That's the wrong decision. honest answer is that the gap between these two strategies, when the debt rate is 6.5% and the market long run average is around 10%, is genuinely smaller than almost anyone expects. Smaller than most YouTube videos about this topic will tell you, small enough that a single year of inconsistency from markets could close it. Small enough that a single year of lifestyle inflation from Jack after his debt is paid could reverse it entirely. Both strategies work, both fail without consistent follow through. Decision that actually matter isn't whether you pay off the loan first or invest immediately. It's what happens after you choose. If your debt carries an interest rate above 8%, the math shifts clearly. Guaranteed 8% return from debt elimination is difficult for the market to reliably beat, especially in the short and medium term. High interest debts, credit cards, personal loans, anything double digits should almost always be eliminated before investing. The guaranteed return is simply too valuable. If your debt rate is below 5%, the calculation tilts the other way. A 4% student loan is not a financial emergency. The difference between a 4% guaranteed return and the long-run market return of around 10% is wide enough that investing early, consistently, produces a meaningful better outcome over decades. In the middle, between 5% and 8%, where most students' loan currently sit, the gap between the strategies is small enough that the choices should be made based on something other than the math alone. Your temperament, your relationships with debt, whether you genuinely believe you'll keep investing through a 30% market decline while simultaneously carrying a monthly loan payment. Eliminating debts first will give you the peace of mind and clean financial clarity to invest aggressively once it's gone. Marcus needed to stay disciplined for 20 years, including the years when discipline was hardest. Jake needed to start investing the moment his loan hit zero and not let a debt-free lifestyle become a more expensive one. Because 20 years later, the difference between them didn't come down on the interest rate calculation. It came down to what they did after making that decision. If you liked the video, please subscribe for more videos breaking down the logic behind the financial decisions we make every day. Let me know in the comments, are you in Jake's camp, Marcus' camp, or still carrying credit card at 22% while watching the videos about student loan strategy? In case I have video for that too. See you in the next one.